Hello everyone and welcome to the new video on the channel. Today we are going to look at another tycoon simulator. Some of you already spoken about this in our comment section, so we decided that we finally can get our hands on this game, thanks to the support. So guys, today's guest is the Transport Fever 2. Oh my lord, this game has a lot of things to talk about. But first, before we get dive too deep into this game, I would like to ask you if you are subscribed to our channel to push on the notification button. If you're not subscribed, press the subscribe button please. It is super important for us to see that we have the support. And let's dive into the game. So the Transport Fever 2 is a lot like a transport tycoon. You've dropped into the map, dotted with a small town, resources and factories, and tasked with building the road, rail, sea and air infrastructure that connects them to help the world's economy to develop. With the same scenario on toolset, it's compression that would be inevitable to drone. This game is dangerous. Well, I could totally pour hours of my life into it and then feel qualified to criticize the highest echelons of the local government, when my flawless Superb provides the Super V and efficient transport for all. I may go mad with the power flooding cities, with noise pollution and cracking as expand, but your mileage may vary. So, let's dive deep into more gameplay kind of things. Transport Fever 2 provides tools to build the transport networks across 4 domain: road, rail, sea and air. Within each category, the tools provided generally include tracks, roads, offering speed, passengers and cargo stations, while depot signals, waypoints, which can be used to direct vehicles to a particular place without using stations, useful to implement one-way system and acting like that. These tools are generally reliable, with an improvement to previous titles in the genre. Also, they can be slightly frictional at the times, especially when it comes to elevation, bridges and merging different tracks. Once the infrastructure is down, the next step is to purchase some vehicles. The available vehicles depend on the region you choose when you're starting the game: Europe, America and Asia, and in the game in the year. Over a span for more than a century, technologies will progress, from the horse carts to the highest latest speed crafts and aircraft. On purchasing a vehicle, you must assign on to the line, which tells to the station to visit, which goods to the pick up and drop off, how long to wait on a load and so on. Some of the smaller details on the market improvement from Transform Simulator first and highlighted just how much the devs would care about their craft. Buses will show their destinations and the next stop on their routing displays. For example, a detail nestled in there is that the seal small but the odds is wider sense of the immersion and the focus. You can also control the time with more finance than in previous games, showing and stopping the clock to allow the forwarding and planning. One minor downside in the game is still this user interface. Oh god. Plagued with some basics issues even from Transport Fever 1, for the people that used to it, it's more user friendly in some bases, but for the Tycoon game, it is quite hard to understand briefly in the beginning of the game, where you would need to push some things to understand. Sometimes you just wanna click on something and drag, but it's not gonna work. Drawing surfaces on the road, maps and planning models and overlays would be nice in a game this is complex, as you can be easily wasted if mistake is made in production. Weirdly, the music also seems to stop if you leave the things stationary for too long, so take a good care of your menu screens. Before you get to enjoy the game, prepare for some pretty hefty load times. That may sound like an extra addition, but seriously, you would sometimes really go and load up some drinks, you can make some kind of snack, come back and the game is finally loaded. Well, on the joke side, I would say maybe it's on the level of Grand Theft Auto Online. Okay, anyway. You will quickly notice that the game is pretty and to look with the levels of the details that is rare for the strategy game. Many of the screenshots included and the gameplays you'll see in the review are not representative of the zoom level where you spend the most of your time. But the most of the cities looks really good from this level and vehicles are so detailed that you need to show them off. Transport Fever 2 introduces some real charms in terms of features and concepts. In the ability to migrate station cuts down to the lot of frustration, an addition of some impressive sized oceans, really give you the chance to explore chaotic vehicles, canes and more in depth. The use of color coding is expertly done, so as not more detect from immersion and the detail of the game. The road can be given into the levels of elevation if you really want to get nerdy, and then an option to set the music to era depend. And you must absolutely do this, no deviation. To the fans of the series, this is a truly exciting development. It is smoother and richer. if you don't speak about a lot of time. A lot of unique features are in the game there, and there is some old things that are really symbolized. The campaign is long and varied, and then you can have difficult curves that give you enough scope to appeal of the levels of the interest. I'm going to waste a lot of time in this game, and I recommend you to try it and waste a lot of your time in it. And I'm probably going to miss my train because of the game. All the jokes aside, Transport Fever lacks some things of the charms of the Transport of Tycoon, but we're really not talking about something like the Roller Coaster Tycoon or the Planet Coaster. The core gameplay loop that is made is really addictive. There is some things that I would maybe adjust, but this is all up to preferences. Overall core gameplay for the Tycoon kind of game is really cool, and it's a really very well made game. People who are doing it really study their things. So if you're a fan of the Tycoon simulators, and some of you are on our channel, if you're from the old subscribers like Greg, who suggested us this game, you will be really surprised of how really well made the game is. So if we would mark it, we would give it around of 8 and maybe up to 9 if some of the things would be escalated a little bit better. But for the such genre, the game is really cool and really interesting, and what's the most important, addictive and not repeatable was the most important once again. So thank you everyone for watching this review with us, and check the like if you like the video, check if you're subscribed, if there is a notification bell on, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.